Hi, hey, it's Linda Anderson here from Linda Lou Creates. So happy you joined me today. I want to show you how I created these two cards and then ended up making four cards. So, a little bit of a mystery there, I know. So let me get you started. First up, the stamp set that I'm featuring is Snowflake Wishes. I love this set. I think it's the one that I've used the most out of the Stampin' Up! Holiday catalog. It's fantastic. It includes within the suite the designer series paper, which is also what I'm featuring here, and that is called Snowflake Splendor. So these cards are very similar, just a few little differences, and I'm going to show them to you right now. So first up, this card. Let me just walk you through as far as the supplies you're going to need. So let me just set excuse me, that off to the side. The card base is my favorite. It is the top folding card base. This is Pacific Point, 11 inches by 4 1/4. The score line is right here at 5 1/2. Now I have two pieces of Whisper White that is cut 4 by 5 1/4. One is for the inside of the card. The other one is what I'm going to layer my piece of Snowflake Splendor paper on. Now this paper measures 3 3/4 by 5 inches. So let's go ahead and get that adhered. And I'm just going to use a little bit of my liquid glue and adhere that straight down. Now the fun thing that I'm going to do with this piece, well actually with both pieces, but I am using next then my layering oval dies, and I am going to just cut an oval right out of here. And let me show you what I'm talking about. So here I have one that I've already cut. So I've just cut that oval out of there. This measures about 2 3/4 inches long, all right? So I've cut that out, but save this. I couldn't throw it away. I'm like, I can make another card out of this. So this is where we're starting to see cards number 3 and 4 coming from. So be sure and save what you cut out then out of these two panels that are together. Now I want to pop it up onto my card base. Now you can use dimensionals, and if you follow me, you know that I love to use a lot of dimensionals. That is my thing. This time I'm changing it up on you. No, I'm not going with fewer dimensionals. Instead, I'm using fun foam. So I've just cut it, and I like to use fun foam when I am covering a large portion of the card. And all I did was just cut it with my scissors and then glue it down to the card, or to this panel, and now just again liquid adhesive to adhere it straight down to the card base. So let me just hold that into place for just a second here. All right, I'm going to give that a moment to dry and show you then what comes next. I wanted a sentiment to go in the center, so I pulled out a stamp set, again out of the mini catalog, the holiday catalog, called Wrapped in Christmas, and it's the most wonderful time of the year. I stamped that onto a stitched shape die, the oval, and this one measures about 2 1/4 long at its longest points here. Now this I used the Pacific Point ink, and then out of my layering oval dies I cut a scallop, and that's out of Highland Heather cardstock. This has some dimensionals on the back, and you'll see how it fits nicely inside here, and I still have a bit of a border of the Pacific Point then showing through. So that's why I wanted to be sure that this was small enough and that this oval was big enough that I was able to get, like I said, that color of that card base underneath. The only thing next that I wanted to do was include a bow. Now, let me find my mini glue dots. Here we go. I am using the Snowflake Splendor ribbon. And look at that shimmer and shine in that. Now, I'm just going to adhere that straight down to the card using a glue dot. I like to smush it on there, pick up the glue dot, and I'm actually going to adhere it right here at the bottom of the oval itself. Okay. A couple of the adhesive backed snowflakes, and then my card will be complete. So I'm just going to do, you know, I like to do the odd numbers. So I'm going to do either 3 or 5. You know, I'll kind of start with 3 and see what I think. And if I feel like I need a couple more, I will. All right. Which obviously I do. So let me get that here. All right, there we go. Card number 1, just using directly the Designer Series paper. Now I did change up card number 2 a little bit. Putting it together is going to all be the same, but I don't know if you noticed what I did here, but again, this is the Designer Series paper, the Snowflake Splendor. I ended up stamping these snowflakes on that. What's nice with a lot of the papers is there is one side that has the pattern. The other side often has like a subtle pattern, like this one does, a watercolor wash effect or sponging effect like this one does. So I thought that it would be fun to just stamp directly on this. So that's what I'm going to do here, is stamp directly on. I am pulling some of the snowflakes out of that Snowflake Wishes stamp set. Let me bring it back. So I just pulled out some of the snowflake stamps here, and I'm just going to randomly stamp some on here. I always like to start with my largest snowflake first. So that one is in Highland Heather. All right. And again, like I said, you're just going to randomly stamp your snowflakes. Making sure to see how I'm going off of the paper. You want to make sure you do that. Don't make it, like I say, random. So that way you're not making it look like it's a pattern. It's, you know, just sort of scattered on there. So let me get now. That was Highland Heather ink that I used. This is Coastal Cabana that I'm now going to use. So I like to do like maybe 3, 4 of my when I'm creating a background, and I can always add more. All right, so right now it might look a little bare yet, so let me bring in, I'm going to try for 4 different colors here, 4 different snowflakes. So I have Balmy Blue. All right, and I'm going to put that one here. I am not honestly paying any attention to the snowflakes that are within the paper, the pattern paper itself. I am just randomly stamping however I want. All right, so let's pull in then color number 4. And I don't know if you've noticed that I'm kind of going down in size of the snowflakes. This last one I'm doing in Pacific Point, and it is the smallest snowflake. So I feel like with this one, I can fill in wherever I have an empty spot and feel that I need to add a little color in there. Again, stamping off the edge of the paper so that it looks like it belongs there. All right, there's no pattern, no rhyme, no reason. All right, so there we go. There's the stamping now onto the Designer Series paper. So let me come back, and what we're going to do is the same thing that we did on the other card. Now, I forgot to point out with the first card, but I want you to pay attention to center, the area where you think you're going to cut the oval out, and really make sure you put the adhesive there. The reason being, once you cut it out, you want it to still be stuck together, because we are making 4 cards after all. So that's why I wanted to put a little extra in that upper third portion of the designer series paper and make sure that I have that adhered, so when I cut the oval, those pieces will be adhered together. All right, so here they are. It's adhered to my Whisper White. That's the 4 by 5 1/4. Now it goes through the die cut machine and I die cut my oval. And here we go. Here's what it's going to look like. And here is the oval that I cut out of there. All right, so set that off to the side because this will become card number 4. All right, so again, I used Fun Foam on the back of this. So let's get some of our liquid adhesive on here, the liquid glue, and I am going to get this glued right down to my Pacific Point card base. Measurements of everything are the same. The card base is that top folding 11 by 4 1/4. My Whisper White, I have 2 of them. One's in the inside, the other one here, that's the 4 by 5 1/4, and my DSP is 5 by 3 3/4. Okay, I have the same oval here using that same stamp set from that Wrapped in Christmas. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Scallop oval is in Highland Heather. So now let's get this popped up right in the center. Love that look. And now I do have another bow I want to put on with that Snowflake Splendor ribbon. And card number 2 is almost done. I have to get those little embellishments on. Okay, those adhesive backed snowflakes. So here we go. Here they are. And again, just randomly putting them down. I wanted to feel like I almost picked them up and just sort of dropped them on the card. Where they fell is where I'm going to adhere them. So that's kind of the random look I'm going for whenever I put these down. So let's go ahead, and here we go. Card number 2 is done. They look very similar, of course. Let me bring this one, and then here's the one that I made. I have too many. So here are the 2 that I made for you today. So what are we going to do with those insides that we cut out, those ovals? Well, like I said, we're going to turn them into cards, of course. Very simple cards. So here we go. These are the cards I have Whisper White. It's the thick Whisper White for my card base. Again, top folding. It is, I have 2 pieces of this, and it is 11 by 4 1/4. All right, and then I have my ovals. These ovals, like I said, are about 2 3/4 inches wide. And then I just have a Pacific Point scallop oval that I die cut using the layering ovals. So let's get these adhered together. So I'm going to move these out of the way for just a moment. All right, and so here is my first oval adhered down, and let me just go ahead while I'm doing it. Now this is the one that is just the designer series paper, while this one is the one that I die cut from the piece of DSP that I did some stamping on. Okay, so let me get the one that is just the designer series paper. So this is the card that I created with that, and this little ribbon treatment. This is about 8 inches is what that piece of ribbon is, and I just essentially just in half, and I'm going to attach it to the back of my oval. Okay, so let's just get some adhesive down here and figure out which is the top and which is the bottom. All right. And then let me get some more adhesive down. And I'll hold that in place. Just want to look on the back, make sure I have it kind of in a good way. It's a little crooked for my taste. There we go. All right, I like that better. Now, eventually you will get that, that the tails you can cut to your specifications and the way you like them. So now I'm going to use my dimensionals to help hold this in place. All right, so let me just pull those in. So I know I have adhesive on here, so I'm just going to make sure that I have my dimensionals helping to hold that in place. All right, so here we go. So yes, here we go. There she goes with all of her dimensionals again. So like I said, I'm wanting to make sure that those are in place. All right, so sorry, one more. I can't stand it that there's not one down there. So here we go. I'm going to bring in my Thick Whisper White. I have already stamped the inside with a sentiment and a snowflake from that Snowflake Wishes stamp set. So I am going to now just place my oval down. We're going to add a little bit of those adhesive backed snowflakes to embellish, and then we are done with card number 3. Card number 4 is going to be very similar to it. All right, now I haven't forgotten about the sentiment. I'll show you that. So I'm just going to trim this down a little bit, those tails. All right, my sentiment. Let me show you what I did. It is actually, this sentiment comes from the stamp set Banner Years, the Christmas Wishes. And I have a 1/2 inch strip here in which I stamped it in Gorgeous Grape. Now let me pull in my Banners Pick-a-Punch, and I'm going to banner cut it using this. Or banner punch it, I guess I should say. I am not very good at actually getting them even if I were to cut them with scissors. So when this punch came out, I was immediately sold. So there it is. I need a couple dimensionals, of course, on the back, and I am using the mini dimensionals for this. So let me get those on. And then I'm going to adhere it down. So you will see card number 4, everything's the same, I'll point out, except for the ribbon. The ribbon treatment is the only thing that's different. All right, so here we go. Let's get our sentiment right across the middle, a couple of our snowflakes, and we will be good to go. All right, so let's pop a few over here. One more. There we go. All right, card number 3. All right, here, these are 2 of the same. And now the last card, the final one, card number 4. So this is the one, the Designer Series paper that we stamped on. So everything is the same, except you'll see that the ribbon is a little different. I have here about 12 inches of that Snowflake Splendor ribbon. And this time I'm going to actually put some of my adhesive on the back this way as opposed to the glue. And I'm going to do a zigzag with it. So I find I am not very good at this. I have seen some people just boom, 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 make their zigzag look awesome. I struggle. So don't laugh whenever you see my results. Don't ask me why. This is just something I can't seem to do. But guess what? I'm okay with that. I kind of like that it's going off sideways. And you know, I'm going to use then my dimensionals to help me hold that down. So I have the adhesive under there, but I'm also going to use dimensionals as it's popping up and out of place. So I just want to make sure that I have it the way I want it. All right, so here we go. Let me just pop these because they keep wanting to pop up and out of there. So let's make sure it's adhered, because if I like it right now, I don't want it to go anywhere. Since I'm not, like I said, I am just not very good at doing this zigzag pattern. So let's see how it looks. Not too bad. It's kind of going sideways, I know, but that was a happy mistake. I don't know if that's the word I want, but I'm okay with that. I was okay with that whenever I did this one, that it went kind of on a diagonal. So I'm okay here too. So let's get this adhered down. Everything else now will be the same as what we just got done doing with card number 3. So, all right, let's get this straight down. Okay. Sentiment, same thing. Boy, I really put the dimensionals on this one, huh? Yeah. Okay. It is not going anywhere. So same thing, 1/2 inch, the Christmas wishes in Gorgeous Grape, and then using that banner punch. Time to get a little bit of the adhesive back snowflakes on there. And then, that quick, we got 4 fun cards made. And that's it. There we go. Card number 4. So let me bring in the ones that I made today. So here are these 2 cards that I guess kind of go together. And here are these 2 cards. So 4 cards that we were able to make, even though initially it started off that I was just going to make 2. So nice going, huh? Hey, if you would like to pick up a printable tutorial on these cards, check down in the description below. I have a link for you to pick that up. Do that. Also be sure to give me a thumbs up if you like this video, and consider subscribing. I always like it when you guys join me. I hope you get a chance to create today, because it is that time of year that we need to get some Christmas cards and holiday cards made. This would be a perfect way to do that. So thanks again, everybody. I appreciate you. Bye now.